I need to paint this again because of the strings. I want them to be black, so I'm going to just zap a bit of black acrylic on there. Along the edge of this. This will be covered up, but I just don't want any white showing. That'll do. And I also want to just paint around the edge of the first and last page. It's got some glue on it. That had a rather nice, that was on there, and I'm going to paint that and use that again. Put some writing on there. I think that would be quite nice. Paint the whole of that, I think. I'm going to have to do a lot of gessoing on these signatures. Dry with the heat gun. Second coat. This is very cheap gesso. It does the job. We do the same in the back. I probably don't need to put gesso over the whole thing. This isn't shiny, but I will just put a bit around the edges. Just make sure the paint takes okay. I don't think I'll need 2 coats on that. I think that's fine. Right, with the raw umber again. Just cover up anywhere. The end papers might not cover it up. Those little corners, I'm sure that won't show it. Just to be on the safe side. Right. There's the corners just put a bit more on here. That's better. There, I'm a bit happier with that. I think that'll be fine. Dry that off. Right, that's okay now. When I stick that in, where is it? I haven't trimmed that off. But if anything shows, it'll be brown, which is better. That's actually quite big, that one. Just to be on the safe side. And I'll do the front and won't keep you hanging around watching that. And then we'll get on to the next stage. Right, that's the front done. So I think I'm not going to put the end papers in at the moment. I shall do that at the end, I think. And I think I want to do some more work on the inside first. So anyway, once I get the black gesso out, I don't think that's going to show actually. I think that'll be fine. There's a bit of white on there. Okay, so I'm just going to go and clean up my brushes, and then we'll start putting some black gesso on the pages inside. Now the inside of this is going to be, the predominant colour scheme is going to be black and white and orange, I think, with some other bits of colour added in, but I want it to be quite bold and quite masculine. And I think because of that, I think as it's going to be quite dark, I think I want to put black gesso on the pages rather than white. And first of all, I'm just going to trim these ends off that I didn't do before. I put a blob of glue on each knot just to make sure it doesn't come undone. It's a good tight double knot, so they should be okay, but I just wanted to be sure. Old, this black gesso, it's gone a bit gloopy on the top, but I think it's mostly alright. Got a bigger foam brush to do this with. Slightly more rapid coverage, I think. Yes, it's pretty gloopy. Very long time. I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper underneath there. Stop doing any damage. Some of these pages may end up with decorative paper on them, but at least if they're all prepared, then I can make the choice when the time comes. I'm just wondering whether I can find something to stir this up a bit. I think just be on the surface, it's a bit solid. I'll carry on with this and I'll turn the camera on again when there's something a bit more interesting to show. Okay, I've painted the whole of the first signature with black gesso, and it's sort of okay, but in one or two places I was a bit impatient with the heat gone. That's the trouble with me, I'm not prepared to wait for things to dry for long enough, and it has pulled away in the middle a bit, but it doesn't matter, I can scrape that out and put some more on. It's a bit hot. I think it melts the plastic a bit, and that's quite shiny paper underneath. Anyway, I'll sort that out before I do any artwork on it, it'll be okay. But I think you can see how the pages work. Can you see that? It's a bit difficult to see whether it's showing up on the camera, but the pages being different sizes, I'll be able to put the borders around the pages. So here in the middle of this signature it will have 4 borders. That is a double page there, same size. And I've actually got some bubbling there, but actually I quite like that texture. So I might leave it. But it's a little bit rough and ready at the moment. But it's a bit tacky in the middle there. There, it's sort of pulled away quite badly, it sort of peels off. Look at that. I'll peel that off. But I can, this is very shiny paper, and this was terribly gloopy, this black gesso, so I've stirred in some water, and it is a little bit better than it was. So I think it may have been partly that. And there's one or two bits of touching up that I need to do. But I think it'll be alright in the end. But that's all I'm going to do today. I'll come back to it tomorrow. Now this is several days later, and I did experience major problems with the pages sticking together, so I went back and did a second coat and propped the pages open with paint brushes and things underneath to make sure that nothing was going to stick. But even so, if I go back to the beginning again, that's the back actually, let's go to the front. There are still, let's have a look, still one or two places where that's a bit, yeah, you can see that. There's some spots there where it's pulled off. There's a rough bit there. It's pulled off from there. And there, did you hear that? You get this awful crunching noise, and you know that something's happening. And there, you see, I'm going to have to go back and look at that. So I'm not 100% happy. I don't like this, and it's not so bad when it's just the gesso, but you don't want this happening with your artwork. That's really quite sort of white patches on that bit there, and there's quite a bad bit. Now that's had a second coat and plenty of drying time, leaving it for several hours or overnight depending, and so it is a problem. So I wondered whether other people had experienced this. That on that one there, that when I parted it before, it actually tore the paper, so it's quite rough there. So that's a page that's going to have decorative paper on it. But there's a bit more white there, you see, and this is all with a second coat and adequate drying time, I would have thought. Ooh, terrible noise, and that's showing blue along there. I wondered whether other people were experiencing the same problem. So I did a Google search about art journal pages sticking together, and there were quite a number of useful suggestions. Some people put waxed paper in between, or baking parchment or something like that, but I wasn't sure whether that was a sort of permanent solution, like the old-fashioned photo albums that we used to have had a sort of like a parchment page between each page of photos so that they wouldn't catch on each other or stick together. But obviously if you've got a double page spread with artwork, you don't want a page floating around in the middle. And then I discovered the best solution, which I thought, and I've tried a little bit on this, and that is to use talc. This is baby powder, so it does smell a bit babyish. I think I have got some simple talc somewhere to make it better, but I've just tipped a little bit into this little dish, and I've got a big fat, very soft paintbrush, and I've done a couple of pages. It feels, really doesn't show. I haven't repainted that, but I think I'll be able to attend to that when I do the artwork. But I think I've done that one. Anyway, just to pick up a little tiny bit on the paintbrush, and just lightly go the page, and there's really not much there. I don't think that's going to interfere with the painting, but it doesn't make that awful crunchy noise anymore. So I think that's probably going to be the answer. I'll be interested to see what happens. I'll do this and then leave it closed tight, and come back after a while and see if there's still any tuffiness and whether it's still sticking together. But I think this is a very good solution. Just smells like a nursery with this baby powder. That little scent will probably go off. That's all I could find at the moment. Since I opened up my new art haven, I've still got problems with finding things. I've got nice homes for things and then I forget where I put them. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I've done that whole signature now, and it just feels better. It puts a microscopic protective layer in between. Yeah, I think that's probably going to work. So I should be able to finish doing that, just touch up any bits that need doing, and then finish putting powder on, and then I'll be able to start doing some work on this album.